That's one way to get rid of a fucking scandal, isn't it?
Just a little bit, isn't it?
Just a tad. And it didn't cost a lot either.
No,
Pocket
just
change.
a little bit of a pocket change, maybe a few backhand deals, and away you go. Speak to your man, Phil.
It does some tidying up, some money down the sofa. Oh, look at this.
Exactly.
Look at this wedge.
Um,
Whoa!
So, as you've probably heard by now, welcome. We're Xbox Tavern. Hi, and we're going to talk to you about Activision Blizzard being purchased by what they call now Microsoft Gaming.
Microsoft Gaming,
What
yes.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Phil is the new CEO of the for what was it, $68.7 billion, which when Scottish Gruff Ross put that in our chat, and I thought he was taking the piss, and then it's only when I went on Xbox on the internet, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
a bit.
Bethesda was high.
This
It was
is
7.5 billion, but 68.7 billion. Like, Daniel, why are they worth $68.7 billion?
well, we could just name 2, maybe 3 of their IPs. I mean, you've got Call of Duty, big franchise. Obviously, forgetting about the current state of the game. Little game called Overwatch, an even smaller game called Diablo.
Never
You
heard
got
of it.
no the waiting in the
You
wings of StarCraft.
mean
Maybe.
you've got the major one of World of Warcraft? Let's not forget that.
Well, don't forget what will happen when it comes to PC. You've got World of Warcraft.
Yes, that's a good 90 million a month, easy.
Yeah, holy shit snacks.
Utter madness. So obviously, as we woke up this morning, we were just having a regular day, thinking, "Nah, going to be fairly slow. It is what it is." And then Microsoft go, "You know what? Let's just fucking upend the whole entire gaming business, shall we? And let's just buy, I don't know, Activision Blizzard / King. I don't know where they fit into the naming scheme, but obviously that then gives you Candy Crush and whatever
Yeah.
other shit you can put out that makes all of the money in the world." Um, for I don't know if I mentioned or not, $68.7 billion, which is more than a handful of cash.
Yes, it's quite a bit, isn't it? It's like I don't even know how to
Ian, what would
explain
you
that.
do with $68.7 billion?
A lot of strip clubs.
A lot of pizza, was that? Yeah.
Um,
Just it's more. I guess it's more money than sense, but they know what they're doing. I mean, they wouldn't be doing this if they just for willy-nilly, just for they've obviously got a plan, a yearly plan. Obviously, maybe it's not going to be a massive return straight away. They do know in 5, 6 times they probably get their money returned back, easy.
I see. I
See,
think
I
they're
was
looking
Karen
shorter.
Daniel.
Sorry, I was going to say, I reckon they're looking for this to come shorter. I reckon this is a year kind of, they're padding this year out. Because obviously, this doesn't get ratified or gratified or whoever until the summer. They have to go through all
Mm.
the legal mumbo jumbo and all
Yeah.
that rubbish. And
Yeah,
I can't think of the word, but yeah, basically the
acquisition. Yeah,
monopoly.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I've got an article. I've got many articles open, but one of the ones is from BGC, and they had someone called Gene Munster from CNBC's Squawk Box talking about the acquisition, and they reckon there's going to be a massive legal battle because obviously it's a massive amount of money. There's like antitrust law rules to go by. There's you got to think what Sony, Nintendo, EA, all this sort of thing are going to contend against it.
Mm.
And also Microsoft announced they're going to buy every Activision share at $95, even though the share price is actually 89. But nobody is picking it up to get an extra $6 for free, basically. Um, there are people much smarter than me who obviously have figured out the finances, but it seems like a lot of money to spend on one entity without a plan to get it back. Obviously, they've got a plan.
Yeah,
So
they
they
clearly got a plan in the background because obviously
seems
you probably saw the old scandal. We won't go into that. That's gone by now. But obviously the Blizzard and Activision. They know what their plan is, what their future plans is. So clearly they've gone to Microsoft and told, this is our plan. This is what we can do. This is what we can turn. This is the money we get in monthly, regardless of nothing happening. For example, World of Warcraft gets probably millions a month,
well,
easy without even thinking about.
yeah. Because what's that? £15 a month? Is it still something like that?
£10 a month.
£10 a month.
Yeah, and obviously think about. I think it's up to, I think it's around 5 million player account at the moment. So again, that's an easy money there every month. So
That's just the one game, let alone
that's
the
not the
Call of
one game,
Duties,
yeah.
like I'm saying, Overwatch, Diablo.
Or the microtransactions. I mean, Call of Duty, all the microtransactions in that's a ridiculous amount of money.
Actually,
Everyone loves
Warzone. I
the
haven't played
skin.
Warzone lately, but I imagine there's a lot of skins and
Oh
gun
god, there's
boosters
shitloads of
and
skins
shit.
running around.
Yeah, so they've obviously, they said the people much smarter than us have gone, we can make money here if we spend this, quite frankly, made up amount of money.
Hmm.
We can make up this made up amount of money back over, you know, a handful of days probably. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to flick through all me articles. So Ian mentioned the scandals, obviously.
Yeah.
Activision, we've called them several not very nice names over the time, which will remain true, I imagine, for as long as some certain people are in charge. A certain person named Bobby Kotick is going to remain as the CEO or whatever his title is at the minute of Activision, at least
He'll be,
until the deal is finalised. At which point, Activision report to Big Daddy Phil,
and then he'll be kicked out easy. You
and
won't pay.
it
You
looks
won't pay
like
two. It's waste of money. So basically, while it's happening, he's there. There's no point kicking him out whilst it's happening. As soon as as soon as that acquisition's done and Big Daddy Phil takes over, he can fuck off. Excuse my
There,
language.
there was
with
some.
him being kicked in the bollocks, hopefully, is that he's set to make up to $350 million from the sale. So he's laughing, and he's fucked everything up. He's been a right bellend, and now he's gone. Oh, I can make another 350 mil before I exit and go and retire, because I don't know how old he is, but he must be getting towards retirement.
But wasn't there talk of saying that now this has come into play, but Microsoft can't do anything with Activision Blizzard at all, so they can't touch it, so they can't change any Call of Duty stuff, they can't change kind of the hierarchy of the ladder. Now has
Yeah.
come to fruition. Until the deal is now signed, potentially Activision Blizzard can do whatever they want anyway, so they have to leave.
I
So
mean,
they
they
have
won't do
to.
anything stupid in the meantime. They don't want to jeopardize the sale, I imagine. But yeah, things have to happen for it. They can't just also get rid of everyone and make everyone redundant. There has to be processes and protocols, which I imagine is what this maybe 6 months is going to be all about. And then come summertime when it's all fully signed and dotted line, people like
It's by
Cockface
next
Bobby.
summer,
Next
2023.
summer.
So we've
Is
got
it?
over a year, yeah.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
2023?
Um,
I missed that.
yeah, so we've got plenty of time for them to cox things up. But so I'm flicking through stories left, right, and centre here.
Yeah.
So they're welcoming Activision to the team, as we said, and their sort of infographic, as you said, Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, Warcraft, Candy Crush, Starcraft. There's a list of games, excuse me, on Video Games Chronicle, which is quite long, and there's some decent ones, and I'm not going to read them all. But they say the list of IPs that could potentially be owned by Xbox following the acquisition, blah blah, includes. I'm going to cherry pick some highlights. Blur, you remember that racing game on the 360?
God, yeah, old school that was, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that one. Obviously, I'm going to skip over the bigger ones. Geometry Wars,
Oh,
Guitar
okay.
Hero.
I
Guitar
saw.
Hero is cool.
I
We've got
imagine they would do
making new
much with
Guitar
that
Hero.
now. But Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Phantasmagoria. I'm not sure what that is, but I saw a lot of love for that when I was, excuse me, when I was researching. Singularity. You ever played Singularity?
No, I can't say I have.
Oh, Ian, you would love it. Fantastic. It's kind of like a Half-Life meets Portal.
Oh, okay.
Fucking brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the 360 game. Go look it up. But hopefully we might get a remake. Tenchu, Time Shift, Tony Hawk's,
Yes.
True
good old
Crime,
Tony.
and everybody's favorite Spyro the Dragon. And that's just some of the ones that they could possibly pick up now. And obviously, Activision won't be doing much aside from Call of Duty. To be fair, is it fair to say, Daniel? Lately, they've dabbled in remakes here and there, but predominantly Call of Duty.
Yeah,
think.
I mean they've done hardly anything, have they?
Well, Diablo 2 came with the remake of Diablo 2. Was it Diablo 2 remake? That came out.
So that was the end of last year.
Yeah. And obviously they're working towards StarCraft as well, and obviously this rumored Overwatch 2, which is
Can't
being
really
Well,
heard.
they
almost fully
announced
mod.
it and it's just gone
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
shit the
disappeared.
bed.
But I was looking there. It's how much 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 8 or 9 studios, isn't it, coming under this?
Yeah, so
Quite a
you've
few,
got
yeah.
Raven, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward.
Yeah, you got Raven Software,
Yeah.
Toys for Bob, Treyarch. I love
Bob, yeah.
some big
Yeah.
ones.
So Raven were the ones who made Singularity, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, definitely go check that out. I don't know if I have it at home somewhere. It's very good. Anyway, and they also say, we're flying through this, sorry. We're getting rapid fire news.
Let's do it.
They say they're going to put as many Activision Blizzard games on Xbox Game Pass as they can. So they don't go ahead and say everything's going to come day one, or we're just going to put the entire back catalogue like they've done with Bethesda. But do you think we will see, not this year probably, but next year, Call of Duty day and date?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that will make so much money. Getting people to come off Game Pass. Call of Duty is a huge title, and everyone. Well, I haven't played this year's one or last year's one, should I say? But there are people that love it and would happily play it. For me, World of Warcraft, I get a free subscription back to World of Warcraft. I'll be like, oh, hello.
This will possibly steal players over from PlayStation. I think if you could buy your £300 console, your Game Pass, and get Call of Duty in there each and every year, this. I know the trouble is it's constantly saying whenever something happens in Game Pass, it's like, this is a console seller. This is potentially the subscription seller for Microsoft to kind
Bethesda was big, but this is
yeah, you're going to chip.
again. Just carry on,
Yeah.
Daniel. Sorry.
I don't know. I was just going to say you're chipping away at a potential player base here, and I suppose if I was Sony, I'd be slightly worried. You know, they're in their midst of dealing with their Game Pass subscription or their version of it, and I've got a feeling this is okay. Go on, whenever you announce it, go ahead, and they're going to be dropping. Oh look, there's Call of Duty. Oh look, there's Overwatch 2. Oh look, there's Diablo 2. There's this, there's it, and it's going to be this. It seems like now it will be every month we will potentially have a AAA game dropping in Game Pass. And
That's the thing.
Basically, is it?
If you can get next Call of Duty to be Xbox exclusive, that will sell consoles easy. Because Call of Duty, even no matter how much Call of Duty takes the piss out of, it's a system that is huge. When people still play on just a PlayStation, and if they can't get their next Call of Duty and have to play Xbox, people will buy an Xbox unless people who just play Call of Duty.
but you don't
And that's
necessarily
the thing.
have to do it as an exclusive. I mean, they probably will do. I'll be eating or I'll be eating my hat, but you don't even have to do that. If you can say, buy this console, it's cheaper, and for £10 a month, £12 a month, you get Call of Duty for free.
I still think that'd be really stupid if they don't.
Possibly.
No offense.
No,
If they go, oh, buy the franchise, I go, oh yeah, but we let it on PlayStation. You're not
Well, I
getting
mean,
the player base to Microsoft, are you? And that's the main thing, is getting people
I would
to
refer
Microsoft.
back to the argument people made with Bethesda and say, oh, they won't make Starfield an exclusive because they paid $7.5 billion, and then they're not going to make that back on one game. But then the Activision thing's nearly 70 billion, like 10 times as much almost.
Yeah.
So
You know what I mean?
they could very well carry it on, because they did say they would carry on support for legacy titles like they did with Bethesda. But
Yeah.
Call of Duty is obviously a bit of a different beast than Wolfenstein or Doom
Yeah.
or something like that.
But yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it on PlayStation, but I don't think they will. I think it would be exclusive. And as you said, even if they did keep it on PlayStation, you can either pay 70 quid for the bog standard edition or £120 for the premium one, or
go to Game Pass and get the
Game
premium
Pass,
for £10 a month.
and then get access to what 500 odd other games that we already talked about the other day on our weekly podcast at 8 p.m. each on Sundays.
It makes it feel like the ZeniMax still was a bargain.
It does, isn't it? It's almost like you just reach in your pocket. Oh, I found $7.5 billion. What should we do with this?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But it shows they're making money as well, because if they think, oh, Microsoft are lost, they're not making money. Clearly they are making money, because look what they've just done. They wouldn't be buying this if they didn't have any money.
Yeah.
But again, Microsoft has Office and Windows, which is pretty much their cash cow.
Just Xbox, is it?
Microsoft Gaming is a pocket entity compared to what they have in general.
Have you
So
seen the graphic of the new leadership team?
No.
No.
So it's Phil Spencer, and then it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women and 4 blokes. So that the whole leadership team
Kotick's one of them.
No.
Good.
So the whole thing kind of completely upturns. I'm wondering if I can drop it in without making it look a bit daft. Can I drop it in this chat? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I just got the picture up now on
Yeah.
Xbox Y.
So I mean, that's what you're looking at, the leadership team now.
Fair play to them, yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And it kind of also says, all right, Activision Blizzard have done this. However, we've changed it, and this will be the.
It needed a change, and that's what's probably the main thing about it. This is what's done it.
Yeah, it's
Very careful with their word, and but whereas with Bethesda and people like Double Fine and whoever else that they bought, I've lost track now. They always say, "Oh, we're going to buy them, we're going to fund them, but we're going to leave them to it." Whereas this time they've gone, "We're going to buy them, and we look forward to implementing a culture of acceptance and accountability without saying like they've been arseholes. Basically, they're saying we're going to come in and
fix this.
try and help, and fix it."
And it's very telling
good to
what
hear.
Phil Spencer said when all the kind of Activision stuff came to a boil 2-3 months ago. He was very kind of with his words. He said, "We're going to deal with Activision in a different way." So he didn't. I don't want to say he didn't condemn them, but
I mean, there's no point trying to condemn them because you bought the company. You're not going to go, this company's shit when you just bought it.
No, but it wasn't that. It was. I presume he was leading into this is what was going on behind the scenes. So they've obviously seen they were in trouble, and maybe that was the kind of the thing to go.
There was a story. I've lost this one now, but apparently it was November when they approached him, and I can't remember when all the scandal stuff kicked off, but I'm pretty sure it was before that.
Yeah.
So perhaps they sort of sensed blood in the water, and like, maybe we could get in now. I mean, I was going to say buy them for cheap, but it's not exactly fucking cheap, is it?
No.
But
It tells you why they were kept quiet and didn't want to kind of give their input on the whole scandal. They just went, that's their thing, and that's the reason why it's their thing, because they're buying their thing now.
Yeah.
There was a story, yesterday, the day before maybe, where Phil Spencer had an interview, and he said, I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't quite remember the quote and I didn't find the story. We've changed our relationship with Activision Blizzard and how they do things. And then, like 2 days later, the reason is because they fucking bought them. So it's like, you cheeky bastard, Phil. What are you doing?
Was that the Wall
What are
Street
you doing?
Journal one?
It might have been a Wall Street Journal, yeah. But again, like you were saying, he was very word salady about trying to avoid, like saying, yeah, they're not very good.
Yeah.
Because we've just paid 70 billion, and we're not going to say they're not very good for not paying for paying that much. Sort of wrapped in the news, aside from the Activision stuff, was Game Pass, and now has over 25 million subscribers. So they're obviously making some decent money on that, which is going to help pay for this. Somewhat. Backing off, coming off of that a little bit. You know, you were saying, Xbox is paying for this, basically. Sorry, Microsoft are paying for this, not Xbox, because Xbox doesn't quite make that much money. Again, people far smarter than me and more important than me balance the books and stuff, but they said that they're going to be the third biggest revenue company behind Tencent and Sony, which surprised me. And then they showed someone on Twitter, Daniel Ahmad, I think, said that Sony last year made 22 point something $billion, and Microsoft with Activision will have made 21.7 or so. It was, so even factoring in Activision, they still haven't matched up to Sony, which surprises me.
Yeah.
Just in gaming.
Yeah, but in gaming terms, yeah, but in general terms.
Oh yeah, in general terms, Microsoft they fucking shit out the money that Sony makes in a year, but yeah, no, that caught me off guard because considering all this huge spending, but Xbox doesn't actually make that much money, like comparatively, obviously.
No,
still
but
enough.
Clearly, they know what they're doing. They've gone to a project and think this would work. There's the money. This is how much we can offer. Okay, we're going to buy it. Let's get to work now. And I think that's the main thing: is getting this year and a half out of the way, get all the thing done. Start getting slowly drip feed Activision games onto Game Pass, and as soon as it comes to light, you're going to see all stacks upon stacks of achievements and games for WoW, let me have achievement there. Bring WoW. And I was like, yes!
It always comes back to achievements, doesn't it?
For me, it does, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy just to see. I mean, you say 25 million subscribers now. I dread to think how many subscribers you'll have by the end of this year now with the news of this. Obviously, Xbox still kind of producing the Series S console and not having issues with that. Sony, unfortunately, making I don't say a backward step, but a step of producing more Sony PlayStation 4s than 5s. And then I suppose also the fact that Xbox shat the bed with the Xbox One and just how all of a sudden they've managed to kind of regain the momentum they had with the 360, kind of dropping that Xbox One phase and kind of just the whole thing is just absolutely mind-boggling.
I saw someone
Crazy.
on a video earlier on, and they referred to the Xbox One blunder as small blip on their. So it wasn't a small blip. It was like 8 years where they shit the bed.
Yeah,
It's not a small blip. They completely fucked it. But now because they've done, as you said, they've turned the ship so much, everybody's like, oh well, it was all right, I suppose. But now they're
Yeah.
fucking
Now it's
flying.
like, oh, you're cheating, you're buying your way. I was like, well, I think Man City win the Premier League. They buy their way.
well, it
I think
stopped.
Microsoft's going to win. They buy their way. And fortunately, they're buying it for good causes because it helps us play more games.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean, it stops this thing of you don't have titles where we've got all the. Say we've got the title. You've got every title that was known to man now.
Effectively, I mean, there was one thing I thought that surprised me that this announcement wasn't for EA or for Ubisoft because
I
I
think
never
with
in
EA,
I never
they've
would
already
imagine
got.
Activision would go.
Hmm. See, I think with EA, they've already got a kind of collaboration with EA Play and it being part of Game Pass. I don't think they need to buy that because that's already its own entity.
That's why I thought that would be a perfect match. Yeah, they've already
Mm,
partnered up and be like, "Well, it's working well. Let's just buy you out." And
Yeah.
exactly.
can you
Yeah.
imagine if we put FIFA exclusive as well? That'd be
But I was
Oh
going to
God.
say
Yeah.
fucking mad.
FIFA was.
That would be.
FIFA and
That
Call
would
of
be.
Duty.
I was
And
saying.
then you got obviously got Ubisoft. They got their own thing now, haven't they?
Well, it's the
I think
thing.
Ubisoft making much money on their own, how they do without Microsoft.
I was thinking, like, if you had FIFA potentially is being lost, isn't it, by EA? So that's maybe why they didn't go for EA.
Mm.
They were like, oh, let's go just a little bit higher.
Yeah. And do you think we might see Sony retaliate? Well, not retaliate. That's probably the wrong word. But get out their checkbooks and be like, who can
There
we
would be
go?
two things. They would be really salty about it and not do anything, or they actually try and do something. But I've heard like a lot of companies don't really want to work with Sony. So the only one I can really think they might do is Square Enix. But that's the
Square
only one
Enix was one of the ones, the more popular ones. So a few people would wishful thinking Take Two because then they get GTA,
Yeah.
Red Dead, etc. But that's got to be an even bigger thing than Call of Duty, considering how GTA 5 is still selling 9 years after it's been released.
It's a lot of money.
Surely, yeah, that
yeah.
would be a hell of a lot of money. Excuse me. Right.
I just
So,
think I
Jen,
think it's funny to see how people like the Twitter. There's just two spectrums. There's neither everyone really happy and excited about what the games they can play on Xbox, or just absolutely super salty.
So I
And
saw a
it's
lot.
just like
I saw a lot of things about just well, Sony's only got Spider-Man, which is a bit harsh.
they got
I mean,
Spider-Man.
they've got a lot of decent exclusives, but can you get really much bigger than Call of Duty and
Yeah.
Warcraft?
Hmm.
Warcraft, I should.
No, exactly. They're too big, especially for PC wise. They're huge on PC. So to get, like, say, you can get Game Pass subscription. Think about it. Imagine if they put World of Warcraft has a free service if you had Game Pass. People would just go, okay, I no longer need just a World of Warcraft on its own. I can go to switch to Xbox Game Pass. Think about it. World of Warcraft's about 4 or 5 million, and if you've base pay maybe an extra £2 a month to compare, or how much is Ultimate? 15,
It's 15
12?
for the Ultimate, yeah.
Yeah, so think about it, £15 a month for Ultimates. You get Xbox, or even if you just get Game Pass for PC, or what's it called, Game Pass for PC, isn't it? I mean
Yeah,
that's like
Game
10 a
Pass
month, and World of Warcraft for 10 a month. If you just switch to Game Pass just for PC, you get all Xbox's Game Pass for PC games along with World of Warcraft, which you already play.
Yeah. but
there's no free upgrade. It's just a
there's
free.
no even because if you're playing Warcraft, you're kind of just playing Warcraft, aren't you? But
Yeah, exactly.
either way, you pay the subscription for Warcraft, a Microsoft benefit, or you switch to Game Pass, a
A
Microsoft benefit.
Microsoft benefit.
So it
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
it makes no odds to them.
No,
does it?
exactly. To them, it makes no odds, but to you, it makes it, a person who just plays World of Warcraft think, oh, I can play these other games now. Now I can have Game Pass PC for free.
Oh, I'll go buy a console.
Mm.
Can you imagine if they bought Warcraft to the actual console, to the Xbox, mouse and keyboard support? I mean, I wouldn't play it, but I'm sure there'd be a
God.
lot of people introduced, especially if they had achievements in
Definitely.
EA.
Yeah, it's
Oh
one of
god,
the
they've
achievements.
got built-in ones in the game, but yeah,
Yeah, but then you don't get the satisfying.
I know.
When you get the
It'll
Cheetos.
be because it'll be rare when I kill a boss.
Yeah, it'd be rare.
The diamond.
Yeah. So so a lot of money has exchanged hands. Well, it's going to exchange hands.
I'm super excited.
It sort of set the world on fire. Well, that's probably a bit hyperbolic, but yeah, everybody was like, "What the flip," as they say.
Exactly.
Never saw this coming in a million years.
No.
So 70 billion almost for Activision Blizzard / King. Again, I still don't know where they fit into the naming scheme.
Happy end.
Anything else, gentlemen?
No, I'm happy.
No.
I'm
Makes me want
happy.
to play World of Warcraft now.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they just chuck at the very least the campaigns for Call of Duty, because I'm not really big on the multiplayer, but I do like the campaigns, and there's a few I've missed over the years, so I'd like to go back and try them
That'd definitely be fun.
and bring
Or
back
even
a nice
imagine
singularity.
drop the latest one on Xbox Game Pass.
Day and date. I imagine they'll probably do some sort of beta. They normally do the pre-order beta. Maybe Game Pass members will get access to the shit like that. Who
The only
knows?
thing I hope they don't do is increase the price. That can kill momentum if they
That
do
was
that.
another question I was going to ask. Do you think with adding this, obviously, do you reckon they could get away with a second tier of having not necessarily separating the games, but as you said, increasing the price to include the season pass of games and stuff like that, maybe, or
Only
yeah,
way they can get around it is if they delete or kill Xbox Gold and make Gold Game Pass and then
they've
Game
pretty
Pass
much
Ultimate
putting it
and
for a
then
slow death as well at the moment, aren't they?
So that's the only way I'll maybe allow it, and then you maybe change the tiers a bit. But I think still at the moment now, £15 a month is probably the where you can get
Top.
away with people be happy to pay for Ultimate.
But if you're getting Call of Duty every year for free, it's potentially worth doing, isn't it? But then you can get it for
Interesting.
free, can't you, if you do your Microsoft reward points?
Oh, yeah,
Which I
you should
need to
definitely
keep
check
doing.
out the video on the YouTube channel that Daniel tells you all about their Microsoft reward points.
How you do it? Yes.
Yes, yeah, they're a good little trick they are.
Yes.
Which is well worth doing. Yes, so that kind of rounds out our discussion on Blizzard, Activision / King again. Still don't know where they fit in. I haven't figured it out yet in this last 10 seconds. Thank you very much for watching. We've been Xbox Tavern. And for all wonderful money spending habits, come here, follow us. YouTube, what's it, TikTok?
TikTok.
Daily news on TikTok.
Yep. You got
And
my
we'll
hot
see
takes.
you on Sunday at 8
And yes,
o'clock ish.
the main podcast every Sunday, 8 p.m. ish,
Yeah, and I
where
fixed
we'll
the
be
sound.
joined by some of the other lads. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have decent sound this week.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful week. Don't spend too much money. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.